Hey there, lovely people. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Tasha, and if you clicked on this video, then you are interested in taking your knit or crochet with you on the go when you're traveling. And I have some tips for you today. I do a lot of knitting on the go while I am road tripping or even on long flights, on train rides. I always have a knit project with me, and there are definitely some things that I have learned the hard way about bringing patterns with me versus just working on them at home. Like, there is some things that you definitely need to think about, and I hate being caught in the situation where I'm like not prepared, or it's just like not working out with the project on the go. And those are like the worst feelings ever, because you're so eager to knit on your travel but then you can't. So to avoid that, I want to give you guys my 3 best tips for knitting while traveling. First of all, some housekeeping. I am wearing one of my hand knits. It is the terracotta sweater by Lay Knit. I finished it earlier this year, and it is perfectly oversized and cozy, and I wear it all the time. It is probably my most worn knit this year, and I love her. While we chat today, I'm going to be knitting on a test knit. I don't want to give too much away, but it's beautiful, and I'm doing a whole video all about her, so definitely stay tuned for that if you liked the little sneak peek. All right, so first things first, when it comes to knitting while on the go, you want to make sure you are choosing the right pattern for travel. And there are a few things you need to consider. How big is this project? Is it going to be a project that you're already working on and you're like halfway done the sweater and it's taking up a whole lot of space? You may not want to take that one with you because it's really bulky and taking up a whole lot of space. Like, that feels like a hassle. I personally like to start new projects when I travel, because I know I will be taking up very minimal space for a majority of the time. I also really love to do accessories like hats, scarves, socks, because again, they are small, compact, and easy to travel around with. How simple or complicated is the pattern? I remember when I was traveling in Japan, I found my project to actually be a little bit hard to travel with, because it is texture and cable work all over. And so I found that I always had to have the pattern out while I was knitting, and that was just really hard to do while like moving around on the train and stuff like that. I just didn't think that that was like the best move. At some points I started to reach some flow, and like there was enough pattern repeat to make it a little mindless, but I found that, yeah, I was like literally pulling out my phone all the time, and that is not super ideal when you're traveling, because it just makes it really hard to, you know, keep it compact and keep it easy and streamlined. You also want to review your entire pattern before you leave your house. Like, read through the entire pattern, make sure there's no surprise materials that you need, make sure you have all of the yarn that you're going to need, make sure you have the proper needles. Like, do you need 2 sets of needles where like you start on a smaller size and then you immediately move up after the ribbing? Like, you don't want to you don't want to like leave one set of needles behind. So like reading through the pattern completely is super helpful to make sure you're not like being like you're not gonna have any surprises later on down the road. And on top of that, you want to download your pattern. I personally download my patterns into my iCloud files so I can look at them on my computer, on my iPad, on my phone, no matter what. When I'm on a go, I always have my patterns with my notes drop down on them on my person, and that makes it really easy. So yeah, basically you just want to know if this pattern's gonna be mindless and simple enough for you to work on the go based off your specific skill level. My second tip for knitting while traveling is all about the knitting accessories, okay? You want to bring all of your knitting accessories with you in a way that is easy to transport, and I think that a clear acrylic case is a really great tool for your knitting notions. I keep my tape measure, some clips, some double pointed needles, a small 9-inch cable needle, lots of stitch markers, darning needles, a small crochet hook. That is key. Like, put an asterisk next to a small crochet hook, put an asterisk next to extra stitch markers, and put an asterisk next to something to cut with. Those are, I think, super key. This acrylic case is awesome to have, makes it really easy to keep everything all together and very tidy, and I love having that thing around. The stitch markers, like, I don't know about you guys, but those things have a mind of their own, and they literally just like pop off and go flying somewhere and they disappear. Like, as soon as they fall off the needle, they just like vanish into oblivion, and you're looking around like, where the heck did it go? I definitely have lost so many stitch markers in the wild. It's really bad, so I always have extra just in case. And then another tip about your accessories, when it comes to your cutting tools, especially when you're flying, for me, I have found that the best way to get through TSA with any type of cutting tool is to just use a nail clip like this guy. I keep a nail clip in my accessories kit. I used to have a small, like less than 2-inch scissor that worked really well for me traveling around for years, especially in the US. But when I was recently traveling internationally, the international TSA took my scissors because they had a sharp point on them. It didn't matter that they were less than 2 inches. Any type of sharp point they were confiscating. They almost took the daggone knitting needles, but decided against it because like that is obviously allowed. Like, you can take knitting needles onto airplanes. But ever since my big tiny scissors got confiscated, the nail clipper has really come into clutch because it's completely compliant, it's not sharp at all, and it's really easy to cut your yarn and break your yarn with the nail clippers instead of like having nothing because your scissors were taken from you. So those are definitely some tips I've learned the hard way. And it's not fun being stuck in that predicament, especially if you're at a part of your pattern where you have to break the yarn. It's just like, okay, now what? A third, oh, I guess like another note on like knitting like accessories or tools, I think traveling with metal needles is the way to go. And hear me out, maybe you have a certain material that you prefer, totally understandable, but when I was traveling in Arizona once, I was using my bamboo Knit Picks needles, and I had the project in my project bag in my backpack, and the bag was sitting in the back seat of the car, and I reached into the car to like grab something, like truly like innocently, and I had my hand on top of my backpack and I put pressure on my bag to like reach through to grab whatever it is I was grabbing, and I heard a snap, and I was just like, what the heck was that? And I panicked and I like opened the backpack, pulled out my project bag, and lucky enough I broke my knitting needle right in half. Like the wooden part of the needle snapped in half in my project mid travel. I was devastated, very stressed, because I was just like, what the heck? Like, and it was like the first day of my project, I mean of my trip, and I was just like, what are the odds that I freaking break my needle mid-row on the first day of this trip? Like, what the heck? And luckily enough, there was a yarn store like within like a 5-minute drive of where I was staying in my Airbnb, and I had like an hour to get there before they closed so I could like buy a replacement needle. And I got a, like, I don't even know what material you would call that. They're not metal, but I think they're like a much harder wood. Like, it's a much sturdier needle. And so yeah, I definitely learned that lesson the hard way. And so if I can, I would travel with a really sturdy needle, like a metal needle, something that is very durable and can deal with, you know, being pushed around, tossed around, things stacked on top of it, because you don't want to be me and break your needle in the middle of your freaking vacation. Like, ugh, that was like the worst. So annoying. Lastly, my last tip, and this one's like, maybe you thought of it, maybe you didn't, but I like a good crossbody bag for knitting while traveling. And the thing is, like, I like to keep a small project that can like fit into this crossbody bag, which is most likely my carry-on bag, so that I can easily grab it and work on it at any time. Like, if you are, and granted, this is me I'm a compulsive knitter. Maybe you are not a compulsive knitter like me, but if I have downtime, I'm going to want to have my hands moving. So even when it comes to like waiting in lines, if I can easily pop out my project and like work on a couple stitches, a couple rows, and then pop it right back in my bag, that is ideal. So I love like a deep crossbody bag, or like a deeper hanging tote bag where the project can stay, like the yarn can stay in the bag, but you can have your project in your hand and the like working yarn is coming out of the bag. That is like something to consider versus like having it in a backpack where it's a lot harder to reach and you can't really like work on the go with your project in a backpack. So that's just something that I have gotten used to, so that I can like knit and walk, knit and stand in line, whip my project out super quick. Like, I don't even have to think about it. I can knit on the train for like the 5 minutes that it takes to go the couple stops, and then pop it right back in my bag, and be done. Oh, I forgot to mention needle stoppers. You definitely need a needle stopper. This is like a really boring, basic, standard one, but it has a little hole. You can stick your stopper on the needle so that when you slip it in your bag real quick, you don't have to worry about your stitches falling off your needles. Definitely add that to your accessories kit, because those are lifesavers, 100%. All right, I can't think of anything else to include. Those are definitely my top 3 tips as someone who knits and travels, knits on the go constantly. These are the things that I've learned over the years. I hope that they give you some inspiration, something to think about on your next trip if you want to bring a knit project. I've done the hard work for you, and now you can do it with confidence. So let me know like what you're working on right now, if you have any trips coming up, and if you plan on taking a knit project, I want to know about that as well. Let me know if this was helpful to you at all. I don't do a lot of sit down videos like this, but I'd like to do more because I feel like I have information to share. I have experiences to share. Yeah, so this was great. Hope you learned something, and I will see you guys in my next video real soon. Okay, love you, bye.